Before we even start this review, I have a confession to make. I have very little experience with custom mechanical keyboards. While dozens of keyboards have passed through the studio over the last couple of years, admittedly, they've all been pre-built devices you can purchase from any online retailer. Little did I know, there is an entire subculture of the mechanical keyboard fandom that is dedicated to the personalization of everyone's favorite desktop peripheral. The shell, PCB, switches, lighting, backplate, keycaps, and cable can all be customized to your exact preferences. While having control over every aspect of your keyboard sounds like a great idea, many consumers are not on board with the associated time, cost, and complexity that's inherent in building a truly custom device. EpoMaker, a keyboard manufacturer, is trying to bridge that gap by providing a lot of those customization options in a more approachable way. Their newest creation, the GK68XS, is one such example. The project became available for backing on Kickstarter a couple weeks ago with a $10,000 goal, which was achieved in a matter of minutes. It seems a lot of people are excited about this new device. EpoMaker was kind enough to send me a pre-production model to find out why. The EpoMaker GK68XS is a highly customizable wireless mechanical keyboard. As the name would imply, it's a refinement over the popular GK68 that came out a couple years ago. As I mentioned, the project is now available for backing at least for the next week or so. Given the popularity of the device, I imagine you'll probably find this eventually on your more traditional online retailers, but who knows if it'll have the same options available. If you pledge through Kickstarter now, your options range from a $65 wired plastic starter configuration, bare bones with no switches, to a completely spec'd out wireless aluminum model for $180. The version I was provided lands somewhere in the middle. It's wireless, it comes with a plastic case, RGB lighting, cherry switches, and these interesting PVT keycaps, all for just $109. And don't worry, other color configurations are available if you want something a little more subtle. In the box you'll find the board, Macintosh keycaps, alternative spacebar keycaps, a USB to USB-C charging cable, keycap puller, key switch puller, 2 additional switches, and this interesting spacebar bracket that we'll talk about in just a minute. If you want to see it over on Kickstarter, follow the link down below, and down there you'll also find a link to win this exact model here, just in case you missed the opportunity to buy it directly. Apart from the obviously polarizing color combination of this particular sample, the GK68XS shares a lot of similarities with most other 65% boards. The board is on the taller side with a bit of a forward slant, which almost justifies the lack of adjustable feet. The PVT keycaps are generously textured and vibrantly colored. Because the letters are not transparent, the characters do not light up by the RGB lighting, meaning the lighting effects are purely for aesthetics and do not illuminate the keys in a dark room. If anything, the backlighting makes the keys harder to read in these situations. On the plus side, because they don't have to worry about positioning the font right over the LED module at the top of the key, the minimalistic letters and symbols can be placed directly in the center of the keycap, giving the keyboard a pleasant and symmetrical feel. But don't let its diminutive size fool you. This little board comes packed with a lot of features. As I mentioned, it can connect wirelessly using the Bluetooth 5.1 protocol or using the included USB to USB-C cable. The one included was a little short, so hopefully a longer cable comes included in the release version. The wireless connection makes it compatible with PC, Mac, Android, and iPhone. While some settings can technically be modified using the various key combinations, you'll want to download the included software in order to take full advantage of the board's customization potential. The settings can basically be broken down into 3 sections: configurations, lighting effects, and macros. The Macros tab is where you'll record new macros or modify one of the existing ones created for popular games and applications. Under the Lighting Effects tab, you can design a new lighting effect from scratch or modify one of the 139 existing effects. Finally, the Configuration tab is where you'll apply your macros, lighting effects, and key assignments to various layers. But it's not just the software that can be customized. As I alluded earlier, the GK68XS is hiding a number of hardware modifications as well. A keycap puller is commonly included with most mechanical keyboards, so you can replace the existing caps with something that better suits your style. What's not as common though is this included key switch puller. Instead of being soldered directly to the PCB like most keyboards, these switches are hot swappable, meaning you can easily pull them out and replace them with different ones. You can even mix and match switch types and even switch manufacturers to suit your preferences. Maybe you want WASD keys to use cherry reds and your remaining keys to use Gatoron browns. That's the beauty of having a fully customizable keyboard. The options, however, get even more unusual from there. Underneath the spacebar, you'll find a bracket that holds a single switch and 2 stabilizers. However, included with the X models is a different bracket that holds 3 switches, effectively giving you 2 extra keys to work with. A common application for one of these keys is adding an extra backspace key. By training one thumb to actuate the spacebar and your other thumb to actuate the backspace, your remaining fingers don't have to leave the home row if you make a mistake. I've been looking at getting a new wireless keyboard, and until now I've completely written off Bluetooth as a viable option due to experiences I've had with input lag and connectivity issues. However, the Bluetooth 5.1 technology integrated into the GK68XS almost has me reconsidering that position. There are times in intense action sequences where the lag is perceptible and it's not completely free from dropped connections, but it's a major upgrade from previous Bluetooth boards I've worked with. Battery life, however, was definitely not as great as I had hoped. Even with lighting effects turned off entirely, the 1900 mAh battery only lasts me about 3 days of 8 to 12 hour use before needing to be refueled. Applying any type of lighting profile will only hurt your mileage from there. The lighting effects are bright and vibrant, especially against the white backplate. It comes preloaded with a handful of lighting effects, including one that uses an internal microphone to jam along to your favorite beat. But if you really want to get creative, you'll need to download the GK68 Plus driver utility. In my previous review of the EpoMaker SK61, I did not realize that software even existed until it was mentioned in a comment of the video that I posted. I was more attentive this time around and was able to locate the link to the software. Now don't throw away this instruction manual because you need to type in the URL exactly as it appears in order to find the executable, or follow the link below that like button. Unfortunately, the difficulty I had finding the software was only the tip of the iceberg. While you certainly have more options in the software than trying to use the cryptic key combinations found in the manual, I honestly prefer using the key combinations over having to use this software. It's that bad. I've encountered a lot of bad peripheral software in the past, but it's usually poorly made on a technical level. The GK driver software, on the other hand, functions just fine, but the ambiguous layout, lack of documentation, and sheer number of options makes the learning curve the steepest I've ever encountered. If you want to make any significant changes to the keyboard outside of how it's configured by default, be prepared to spend a lot of time in this utility. While I was poking around in the utility, I noticed LED modules in the lighting effects tab that indicate the existence of perimeter lighting on the board. I thought this must have been a mistake until I disassembled the keyboard and found the board does in fact have perimeter LEDs. These LEDs are curiously obscured by the plastic shell, and I imagine the aluminum one as well. So if you want to make use of those perimeter lights, you'll have to transplant the whole PCB into a different shell. Despite how I feel about the color of the XDA profile dye-sublimated keycaps, they feel great. Beneath the keycaps, the linear MX red switches are as buttery smooth as you'd expect. Removing the keycaps and switches is easy with the included tools. Even replacing that spacebar module was done in about 2 minutes and added a significant level of utility to the design. Don't underestimate how much time it takes to recondition one of your thumbs to do anything but press the spacebar. EpoMaker is trying to make the custom keyboard business model accessible to a wider range of people, and judging by the pre-sales alone, a lot of people seem to approve. The fact that you can get a largely custom board with features to meet your budget is a huge selling point. Anyone looking to get a compact wireless keyboard should definitely check out this one. Just make sure you do it before the campaign closes on June 26th. Or alternatively, if you happen to miss out or you want a chance to win one for free, then check out our description where you can find a link to a competition and win this exact model we have here. Now, down there you'll also find links to some of my personal favorite compact keyboards in case this one doesn't quite meet your style, as well as links to check out our merch and our Amazon storefront. If you like this video, then consider watching our other videos over here and subscribing so you don't miss out on our newest content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.